Bible Doctrine 4, Lecture 23, Part 80. Page 5, top of page 5. Verse 6, and he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. Some short statements on this. So I believe this is Jesus Christ. We'll deal with this more on water of life later. What purpose will it serve? I mean, this water of life, is it just figurative? Is there a tree of life? Is that just figurative? Does everyone have access to the tree or the water? Only certain people? If you have access to it, why? What does it do for you? Yeah, we'll go that route. Someone read verse 7.
He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son.
Well, to who? Well, who gets all things? He that overcometh. Does this refer to all Christians? Or just those that overcome? Overcome what? Well, whoever it is, they will inherit, it says, all things. Is that everything? It could very well be that since all the saved will have him as their God and shall be his son, that they will each will inherit all things, meaning you have the kingdom of God, you have heaven, you see it all. It's there, but not everyone's going to have the same position. Is that right? Okay. Because David, and you got the 24 elders, tribulational martyrs, the bride, those that are reigning. There's going to be different positions, so you're not going to all get the same thing. Plus the rewards will be different. So this inheritance is you get to be here in heaven. If you overcome. And how do you overcome? It's by the blood of the Lamb, the Bible says. Verse 8, someone read.
But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
Ah, the second death, yeah. Well, we're kind of looking back as to what happened at the great white throne judgment. These that were sinners that did not get saved from the condemnation of their sins. Here they all are. These are their sins they committed, categorically. We all are guilty of the same, in general, there's a category of sin we've all done. At least, like liar, whoremongering, being an abominable, coveting, idolatry, whatever it is. We've sinned! We previously talked about the lake of fire. It literally has fire and brimstone, yeah. The second death is the eternal separation from God in the lake of fire. So let's go on. We're going to finish with the end of chapter 22. We're just going to move along. Got to park in a few places, but some places, like you see at the bottom, will go really fast. Verse 9 and 10, someone read.
And there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the Spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
There it is again, coming down. 9 and 10, we talked about that earlier. Here we are at this point now. The bride of Christ, I believe, is a real entity. It's called here the Lamb's wife. I firmly believe that John was shown the Lamb's wife here, and that we will know who she is because of this. So there's hints here for us. The angel that's sent by God was very enthused about showing John the bride. Hey, come and look at this. Come hither. Come on, I'm going to show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. I have to walk away for a second. Some folk aren't very happy about this, so I would be very excited about this because you might be in it. So let's go on here. I don't want this to be drudgery for you. Be enthused. I'm trying to make it enthused for you. I'm trying. You try too. So the angel is excited about this and wants John to see the bride, the Lamb's wife, because she's beautiful, she's awesome, she's amazing, impressive. Well, the city surely isn't going to be who Jesus is married to. We know that. It's the adornment. It's like this. And maybe it's like this, maybe you disagree. Hey, come let me show you my church. And you come by and you point to the building. But you hopefully understand that that's not the church, it's the people in there. Or you can say, let me show you my family. And you point to, here's where they live. You can kind of just say that. It's kind of like that, though it doesn't line up just perfectly. Cities are measured by population, not area or matter. A city without inhabitants is not a city. Well, the New Jerusalem is currently where? Third heaven, and it's going to come down to the new earth.
And it's going to be on a high mountain.
I think so too, since you're very smart. And so this is going to be quite an impressive sight. Well, when John saw it, and I would submit to you, you're not going to go, oh, that's not as good as this one movie I saw. This one movie was awesome. Terminator 9. Now this is going to blow away any silly show you've ever seen. It's the real deal. Don't worry about this last part and take a break. This is going to be short. This doesn't take long at all. Turn to the next page so you can see what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about a wall and gates. I'm going to describe to you in the most amazing splendor and great gifted ability that I have, which is not much, the New Jerusalem. So let's read here. I'll read a verse. Someone read a verse. And it goes on a bit here. Well, so it's coming, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. And her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates. And at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
On the east, 3 gates. On the north, 3 gates. On the south, 3 gates. Yes, and on the west, 3 gates.
And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb.
And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof.
And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs.
And he measured the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel.
And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass.
And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth an emerald,
The 5th sardonyx, I don't know how to pronounce some of these. The 6th sardis, the 7th chrysolite, the 8th beryl, the 9th a topaz, the 10th a chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th an amethyst.
Yeah, I think they can make the conclusion that you don't know how to pronounce all of them, so
Yes.
you have to say that. Actually, I think you're pronouncing pretty close to being right, yeah. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of 1 pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were, transparent glass. Oh, they've tried to recreate this, and, it helps, but it's going to be nothing like the real thing. So, here's where I get off into my little world. Want to come there with me? Here we go. So you got a huge city with a, relatively tall wall, about 200 feet high. And gates. There's 3 gates on each side. Remember, it's 1,500 miles. 1,500 miles, this is huge. This wall is 6,000 miles perimeter, with 3 gates on each side of it. Potentially equidistant would be 500 miles apart. So let's go on into this. Why have them? Is it just because you gotta? Because it's a city? Mm-hmm. Or is it because it serves a function? Why have a wall? This wall is 144 cubits. If you go to 18 to 22 inches, it's about 200 feet high. Why make it so high? Why would you want a wall around this beautiful city of gold? It's a beautiful city. Don't have a wall there. Get rid of the wall. We're trying to keep people out or something? Why not just have any wall and not impede the flow? Why not just not have any wall and not impede the flow of people in and out of this wonderful city? Let everyone, Brother Eric, come and go as they like to. one question might be, well, maybe there's 200-foot tall beams. You know, it's 200-foot wall. I'm guessing they're still going to be the same height. 5'10". I don't know, but there's no indication that there's 10, 12, 50, 80-foot people. All right, so no one's going to get over this wall, okay, unless they can jump over it or fly over it or take some aircraft over it. So this wall goes from the top to the bottom, 200 feet. Has if it's a 6 foot or 6'2", whatever I am, that is way up there. 200 feet high is like 20 stories. Is that high? 20 stories, yeah. That's high. The current city of Jerusalem and the Old Testament description of it, it shows a large wall surrounding it. Why? Because it looks cool. No, it has a purpose. The purpose was not for looks, but to keep people out. Not to keep people in, it's to keep the people out that aren't supposed to come in. And I would assume that that is the function of the New Jerusalem's wall. Why do you say that? There's more to say. Don't tune off yet. Don't go, forget it, I'll just study the red stuff and take the test. People are cheaters. Also, the wall would be 6,000 miles long. Interesting. Similar, but much larger to the Great Wall of China and our Mexican border wall. This thing is much bigger than that. Again, what is the purpose there? The border wall and the Great Wall of China was looks. Had a purpose to keep people out. Why have a wall? Who's God keeping out anyways? It's the nations that are walking in the light of the New Jerusalem that won't be allowed in here. We'll get there in verse 24. You'll see. Well, these walls, whether you believe that they keep people out or not, are beautiful walls. The wall represents the foundation, apparently, of the churches, because it's the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Their names are there. So, the 12 apostles were extremely instrumental, Brother Eric, I think, in the beginning of the churches.
I would say so.
Yeah, so that has to represent something other than, well, we'll give you guys, like, you get to be the levels of the wall. It won't mean anything really, but I'm sure there's meaning there. Well, more than I can get right now. Thus, the keeping people out by this wall involves, I believe, a segregation of true church members and the rest, to some degree. Probably teaches that these faithful church members, those that are privileged to live in the city. And there's some question marks here, and most, maybe, others are not, and are kept out. Again, maybe it's Old Testament faithful, maybe it's tribulational martyrs who live there too, there's some other groups I'm wondering about. So this city with its huge walls, red stuff here, and scarcely positioned gates, we'll deal with gates a little bit, speak of a design to me to guard against just anyone and everyone just coming on in as they want to. It speaks of segregation. And I believe it'll be a privilege to be allowed to enter this city, and just think how much more a privilege to live in her. It's my belief. And some say, well, the gates are left open all the time. Yeah, but why do they have an angel there? Why do they have all these walls? And why is it like 3 gates on each side, not 1,000 gates? Why have any gates? Each foundation, you can see these, you can look at those colors. It's going to be beautiful. Very stunning. Wow. Now, Brother Eric, let's talk about gates. Not Bill Gates, but these gates. They're pearly gates. All these silly jokes are made upon. Please don't say those jokes. And I didn't hear this joke about pearly gates and Peter saying it. Don't. Those are wicked jokes. All of them. Each gate was one gigantuous pearl. Wow. Neat. What are the function of gates?
Well, you open
There's no one left here, it's just me. What's that?
To go in and out.
Oh yeah, thank you. Hey man, yeah, it's obvious. But they get tired of hearing me. They want to know there's people here. And I kind of want to know there's people here too. That helps me. I have psychological problems. I know you don't know that, but...
We know.
They will remain open. Well, yeah, to keep people from going in and out, kind of controlling that. They will remain open, but that doesn't mean anyone can come in the city just as they please. Israel kept her gates open all day long, but you don't let the enemies in, man. For the lepers, keep people out. That's why there's an angel standing there going, okay, ID card. Let me see your forehead. You don't have the Lamb's name in there. You're not coming in. Or whatever the name might be. Whew. There are 3 gates on each side of the city. This would possibly be one gate if you equidistantly spread them out. Every 500 miles, you can go, no, I don't think it would be. It would be 333 miles. It's every 500 miles. I did a complex algebraic equation to get that. Every 500 miles. And I believe it's going to be every 500 miles, there's this puny little gate.
It's a pearl.
At the biggest, it's 200 feet wide. The biggest it's going to be wide, because of the height, is 200. It's going to be 200, in my view. That's a huge pearl. Some say it's a honking pearl. That puppy is going to be open. So it's 200 feet wide, but that's every 500 miles! Where's the next gate, man? I've been walking a long time. I'm thirsty. Oh, what's he talking about? Then there's an angel there. Why do you have an angel there? Welcome. I'm a Walmart greeter. Nothing against Walmart. Checks for the name written on the forehead. That's what he does. Only a special group only a special group will be allowed in. There's my choices there. You can think about those. Now, a more difficult scenario to ponder than all these others I mentioned is the names on the gates. It says it's the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, that's got to more than just be a neat little thing. My name's up in lights. This has got to have some symbolism that is real. Typology and all. This symbolizes at least that the Old Testament Jews would have some significance in who was allowed in the New Jerusalem and who wasn't. In keeping with the dispensational setting of Revelation, we should not be the least bit surprised to discover the Israel-centeredness of the New Jerusalem. So you think about that. That's why I include not all Old Testament saints. So, but who? I don't know. Abraham, his family, Isaac. I don't know. You can do some more study on that. We got transparent gold. See how big this critter is. Then we'll have a break. So, beautiful streets of gold. You can see through them. And here, look up for a second. Do you think it's multi-level, or do you think it's just the bottom level, and it's 1,500 miles to the top, and there's a ceiling?
Multi.
There's all those places that just kind of fly around. Multi? Stare, it's fine too, but you can say, I don't know, multi-level.
I don't know.
One level. I don't know.
Multi-level,
okay. I think it's multi-level. Then why have 1,500 miles? I was like, that's like a waste of air conditioning, man.
Yeah.
Why do we have to heat this whole thing? We won't have to. Well, it's 12,000 furlongs. 1 furlong is 220 yards. I did not make you know this, aren't you glad? At least this part. So here's my calculations. 7,900 whatever feet divided by 5,280 feet. It comes out to 1,500 miles. Well, there's the equation for those who go, no, it can't be that big. It's 1,500 miles cubed. I don't think it's a tetrahedron. I think it's a cube. 1,500 miles. 1,500 miles. A big box. 1,500 miles. That's like from here to Iowa. 1,500 miles up is past the clouds, I'm guessing.
That's the part that's hard to visualize.
Yeah, because you hear about 30,000 feet, you're flying at 30,000 feet. How about flying at 7,920,000 feet? Hey, is that the Earth down there? This thing is going to really stick out. Of course, the Earth's circumference, right now, if it's the same size as... I don't know the circumference. Yeah, circumference is 26,000 miles. Let's just say it's 10,000 miles wide across. So it's in diameter, excuse me. So if it's 10,000 miles across, well, this is 1,500 miles. But that's about 10%. A little over 10%. That's 15% of the Earth. So this thing could stick out a ways better. Okay, back to reality. Its base, or ground floor, is going to measure 2.25 million square miles, which is enough by itself to house all the peoples of the earth right now, and have much room, a lot of acreage for everyone, cattle, whatever they want to do, motorbike riding. If each floor is 200 feet high, because the walls are 200 feet high, so maybe each floor is 200 feet high, guess what? You're going to have 40,000 floors that each one is 2.25 million square miles. I don't care how big a mansion, well, of course you can get really big, but it's going to be lots of room. Each mansion, let's say it's 250,000 square foot mansion. Yeah, that's what I want, 250,000 square foot. Guess what? Then that would calculate out to about 250 million of these mansions per floor.
Times 40,000.
Yeah, if they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Times 40,000 floors. If each mansion is 100 million square feet, that's really big, but that's funny. Then that would calculate out to about 100,000 of these per floor. Really? I think so.
Never find the front door.
Yeah. So maybe each floor is a mile high. Let's just go with that. That would give us a conservative estimate of 150 million of these mansions total. Okay, that sounds a little better. Mile high floors, and then we got these huge, I don't know, 100 million square foot floor, I don't know, whatever. Huge mansions. That's if there's no land in between. I know you can bring it down to a measly 500,000 square foot mansion. This wouldn't cover all the saved of all time or even all the New Testament saints, but it might very adequately cover all those in the bride of Christ, this last number, 150 million mansions. But you can calculate it any way you want to. There's going to be plenty of room if you have multi-level marketing going on. All right, let's go on to probably even some more difficult things to understand after this break.